Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all y'all. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the moat in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw those back at me. Or you can just say hi if you just want to say hi. Harold is hosting the stream. Thank you, Harold, for that. I appreciate that very much, my friend. Lashbrook is here. Hey, Lashbrook. So we're just hanging out in the pre-show stuff. We're going to see if more folks want to join us. I am running the latest update to OBS, and so far no issues, so that's good. Also, I'm not a sub, mwaha, says Dr. Jones. Yes, you were gifted. You're not a submarine. And Jam just subscribed, 34 months. Thank you so much, Jam. Thank you for renewing your subscription and for being such a consistent 34 months with a Prime. That just takes dedication, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you for sticking with me for so long. But yeah, we're hanging out here. We're going to work on a model kit. I just got a thing that I am among the first to beta test the soundtrack by Twitch. So I got beta access. Now, I got this email after I already started streaming. So I have not... Oh, and Dr. Jones just cheered 100. Thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for the bits. Oh, very nice of you. Thank you. Bits and coins, always appreciated, Dr. Jones. Thank you for that. Let's see. Oh, yeah, what was I going to say? So, yeah. So, basically, Twitch has a thing where you can get beta access to this thing, which will be a source in OBS. Launch the app, along your account. Just make sure you're running Windows 10 and meet the system requirements. But basically, it means that I'm going to be able to play music in OBS while streaming that are all rights cleared, and it won't show up as any issues. Which is great, because you may hear, I only play a little bit of music, but you might have heard before a stream starts, I'm playing some tunes while I'm live before I do anything. I've got some music playing, and that music is from some music by somebody who has license opens. You don't even need to name them. And so it shouldn't be tripped up. But I only have a handful of songs. Now, I used to use, there's a Twitch account, a 24-hour stream Twitch account that plays music, and they go in and make sure all their music is cool. But I don't like streaming that while I'm streaming, because if there's a buffer, then suddenly music isn't playing. I like it to be locally sourced. So I'm hoping that this soundtrack thing streams well and works well. So I'm going to try it out. Yeah, as Dr. Jones says, it's nice that they're really doing something to make it easier for streamers. Yeah, because like they should be doing the work. I shouldn't have to do the work to find the music that is okay for them. So if they're doing the work, then that's great, because I like to have some music playing at the front of VODs, and what I don't want is for my VOD or streams, and I don't want my VODs to be muted just because the first 6 minutes or so, I had some music playing. So that sounds pretty good. I'm excited about that. Hopefully that'll turn out good. I did, as I said, take care of somebody in the chat, make sure they're doing that. And yeah, I think we're gonna get started with our stream in a minute or two. Get building. I'll talk about. Hey, look. So this is where we got as far as Saturday stream. We now have the feet, the legs, the waist, the chest all done. We're working on the arms right now, and I ran into an issue. So I had this done, which is the shoulder. And I'll show you when we get to the overhead. Well, let's go to the overhead now. I'm going to retweet my tweet out and say that I'm going, and then we'll get into that. I'm just going to write something here. Let's go. All right, let me retweet, and then let's go to the overhead. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside here. You may notice I completed assembly of this arm, which at the end of the last stream I was having trouble with. I did not know what was going wrong with it, but I could not get it to work. Now, what ends up happening is here, because it was supposed to be, you put this on, you can see I basically did the other arm as a way to figure out what was wrong and what I was screwing up. You put this on like here, but it's facing away from where it needs to be, and then you turn it, and then it lines up. And I was like, it's not letting me turn. I don't know why it's letting me turn. Turns out I had this piece in the center on upside down. So once I went back in, flipped it the right way, no problem, arm is ready to go. So that was great. I did bend this a little bit, but I did seem to repair it. I didn't break anything. And usually that is the way. It's something simple like that. Like, oh, I just put the part together wrong. It's really bad when that is something I'm doing at the end of a stream. That is always worrisome, is when I'm screwing up the end of the stream because, like, you get distracted, you're working, and then, like, sometimes things don't go the way you would like them to go, and suddenly you're screwing up. And I would prefer not to do that. But it happens, and it's okay that it happens. Like, that's just part of it, right? Okay. So, these things are here. This is going to slot in here. I don't know why we do this once it's assembled, and we don't put it on first, but whatever. Snap these in. Here we go. Little reinforcement of the shoulder. That's nice. I may have talked about, I think I talked about this whole like weird thing where I keep getting emails because people that have, there are a small number of Twitch accounts way back in the day where they didn't quite know. They knew they wanted to do a thing where you could pay for premium subscriptions or subscribe to a channel and get rewards, and then Twitch would get a cut of it because they were seeing that big streamers were doing well via donations. So they were like, we need a cut of that shit because we're a business. And so a thing they experimented with like Felicia Day and a few other people, and the official Twitch account for PAX for their live streams, for the panel live streams, was lifetime subscriptions. That was a thing that they were like, this will work, we're going to do this. So they did the lifetime subscription thing, and and I got it. It was like access to VODs, and I needed VODs for a Twitch thing because I wanted to, whatever. I didn't need it, but I wanted it. It was cheap. I think it was like $3. And, all right, I'm going to do that. Now, later they rolled out the subscriptions as we know them today, and it's different. But at the time, that was like a way to support a channel, right? So I did that with Twitch, and PAX. I really don't think about it. Like, I'm at PAX. I don't watch a lot of VODs or a lot of live streams as they happen. I get caught up on a few now and again. There's something that comes up, and I'm like, oh, actually, I do want to see what that was. Or honestly, I'm going into it so that I can rip the video and then cut out the segment. Usually the days-long video. Sorry. Cut out what I need and then rip it to then upload it to my YouTube. So I'm usually doing that more than anything. But it's still nice to have. It's still nice to subscribe. It's neat. Also, during PAX Online, they wanted to have people in their Discord so they could moderate the Discord, which was fine so they made it subscriber only because there are only so many people who are subscribed. So I was able to chat in the subscriber only chat, but no one was there, so it didn't really matter. All right, we're done with one arm here, which is good. So we'll put that aside. Now we'll work on the other arm. And now we know a lot about what I did wrong the first time, so this should go a bit smoother, which is good. But anyway, so the thing about lifetime subscriptions, they're doing a thing right now. They're doing a promotion right now where they are converting these lifetime subscriptions to like a tier 1 subscription for a week. So you can like understand what the benefits are, which doesn't seem to make any sense to me because you probably know what the benefits are. Like, what? And I'm like, okay, fine. But they've emailed me 5 times about this, and each email is exactly the same email, and I don't know why. And then I posted this on Twitter, and I got one reply from someone who is dealing with the same thing. And I'm just so happy that someone else is also getting these emails. I wish neither of us were getting these emails, but I'm really happy that like it's not just me. Like I was like, "Oh, good. Okay. Somebody else is dealing with this annoying thing." And it's just like what do you want? Especially like I know they don't know this, but this account that you're like, hey, we want to show you the benefit of being a tier 1 or 2 or 3 subscriber to this channel. Well, that channel's not going to stream. The PAX account is not going to stream in the next like week, this week. They're just not going to. There's no PAX for them to stream at. So it's like they won't go live. There's nothing for me to like notice about it. Like what is this? I don't know. It's very odd. I know, as I said, I know that this is not a thing that applies to anybody really. Um, it's like people describe to like Jesse, Nigel, or whatever however you say her last name, me, her Pax, Felicia Day, and like a few others. So it's not like people are like gonna constantly be dealing with this. But it is an odd thing, and I would love it to stop. I would love to stop getting these emails. And then, could I unsubscribe? Yeah, I could unsubscribe, but then there are other emails that I'm not going to be getting, and about what's going on with Twitch. And I like to stay informed because I'm a content creator on here, so I would like to know what's going on with things. My ats of Twitch support have gone unanswered, and that's fine. I don't necessarily expect them to have an answer for me. I would love it if they did, but I'm certainly not expecting them to get back to me. Whatever. It happens. Anyway, that's the thing that's going on with me. Not a lot's going on with me on the last 2 days. Meatloaf tonight. Put a photo of that up there. Real good. Solid meatloaf. Happy with how it turned out. Bacon diced up on top. Real crispy. Good. A little bit of Parmesan cheese mixed in there. Onion. A whole medium-sized onion in there. Real good. Just using ground beef. Not throwing anything else in there. But, it's an important thing to note. I'm not going grocery shopping, so I am happy with what I get. Because it's not up to me to go out and get that stuff, so, okay. It's like, all right, that's what we got to work with. That's what we got to work with. Perfectly happy with it. Yeah, maybe we'll put some sausage in there, some pork, maybe, There's different stuff I could put in there. Some ground pork, There's a lot of different stuff you could throw in there if you wanted to. Maybe put a bunch of mozzarella cheese in the middle, and mozzarella cheese surprise. Could be real good in a meatloaf. But right now, none of that. It's real good though. I don't know. I think that was. And then Pat ran out of things to talk about. How's everybody doing? If you got something going on in the chat, let me know. Believe me, I try to have things to talk about here. In the second hour, we're going to talk about anime that's come out in the past couple of days, and that'll be good to be able to talk about. I put a new video up today for Pat Baer's Anime Club, which is about Halloween themed anime that isn't spooky. Some of it's action adventure, but it's not spooky. It's not a horror. It's none of it's horror. Because I don't know. That's just fun stuff. I like being able to watch stuff about witches and ghosts and whatever, but not have it be creepy. So put that up. Hopefully people will enjoy. Yeah, mostly it's just been hanging out. I did, apparently, Red, is now following. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Welcome. Turns out, folks, I was one of the many people from the city of New York who, unfortunately, got the incorrect ballot. You may have seen the news of that. There were incorrect ballots going out. And I'm one of the people that got inaccurate ballot due to a vendor error. But I got my correct ballot I'm all ready to go. So that's fine. That's going to be okay. But yeah, it's frustrating that I had gotten an incorrect ballot. But now I have the correct one, and not bad. Playing any games lately, Pat, says Aristofan. So the big thing that I'm playing lately, so the whole spooky stuff creeps Pat out, wasn't just an angle for League of Heels. No, Harold, I don't like horror at all. Now I was playing it up for the video, certainly kind of playing into it, because not like the woods don't really creep me out, but like if you're like, oh yeah, well this is an anime where like ghosts come out and murder everybody in like very unsettling ways, and like I'm like, no thanks, and it's real tension heavy, and like I'm like, no, I'm all right, I don't need to watch that. That's not my jam. It is far from my jam. Yeah. Uh, so video games. I haven't played anything new lately. I've been revisiting some stuff. Uh, there was a pretty big content update to um, One Piece Bon Bon, which is a match 3 mobile game that I play a lot, and I shouldn't, but I do because they're coming up on a big anniversary. So they're giving me so many incentives. Now, I should say this game, not great, but just fine enough, and I have never put any money into it, and I can still play every day. It does want me to put money into it, certainly does, but I can get around it. Um, it is great for when I am riding my stationary bike conversion. When I'm riding that bike, and just one hand on the handlebar or no hand on the handlebar, just on the phone, moving my thumb around, no problems at all. Very fun for it, satisfying to level up and move up. Uh, One thing that I am definitely in a top percentile of people playing that game because I have run out of things to. There are characters for me to power up, and I'll still be able to power them up. But there are like you get like stars for completing a thing, and then you can trade in those. They're diamond coins. You get diamond coins. You can trade in. I'm running out of things to buy. I'm buying things now I don't care about, which is bad for me because it will eventually I will hit the point where because once you finish a zone, like I'm at the point now where I finish the zone and then I wait for a new zone to come out and there's bonus stuff for me to play around it, but the bonus stuff just is to unlock other bonus things, bonus items, and I don't need those. I'm gonna run out of bonus items. Like I've already run out of ones I want, and now I'm like getting the ones I don't need. And that's bad. That's pretty bad. I shouldn't be doing that in a game. So, but it's still fun. I still like it. Again, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I wouldn't say, hey, download um, One Piece Bon Bon like immediately. But I like it. I needed just like a game to not care about and put a little bit of money in because they've taken out a little bit of the quality of life stuff that I was really enjoying in Pokemon Go. Particularly they have gotten, although they just put in a weekend where eggs hatched faster, but the eggs don't like they had for a while there just a thing about the eggs that worked out really well and made things a lot easier. And there were a couple other things that were good quality of life improvements to kind of combat COVID that they're now taking away. Um, Also, one of the special things you can do in the game, you track and you're going to do this, you got to do that. One of them is oh, thank you, Lord Crashington. Appreciate that. Keep up the good work and stay safe. You too, Lord Crashington. Thank you very much. You stay safe out there. That's 15 months. Throw the Bear Cave logo, the site emote. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. Although, for some reason, it doesn't want me to reply with the other ones. That's annoying. I don't know why. Whatever. Um, but yeah, thank you, Lord Crashington. Appreciate that. Yeah, they have these special things. You do these things, you get rewards. One of them is Um, Spin Pokestops. Oh, Lord Crashington is asking for the resub gong. Okay, give me a second. Um, so they have this thing where they want you to spin Pokestops or gyms. I'm not near a Pokestop or a gym, so it's just like, oh, this doesn't help me at all. Okay, so I'm doing less Pokemon Go. I'm still using it when I walk because it still benefits that. And I did catch this like cute deer Pokemon the other day, and I was happy about that. Thank you, Lord Crashton, for using those channel points for the gong. So that was good. But yeah, overall, I'm uh, I'm less in love with Pokemon Go. And then I'm playing Hearthstone. I still play Hearthstone every day, just at least to get the quest reward and to try some stuff out. I'm trying a it is a wild priest deck, but it is differently annoying than other priest decks because you may remember I generally don't like the class. It's my least favorite class. So I was trying to find a deck to play my least favorite class because I'm like, well, there's probably a way to play this. I think that's a fun challenge is to find a deck in this style that I actually could enjoy. Um, Still annoying. Yes, Aristophan. It is. Hi, Aristophan. So what I ended up finding was a a different kind of annoying priest deck because priest deck is still annoying, but instead of I'm going to revive stuff. I'm going to raise dead. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not reviving stuff. I'm not cheating out big minions to then put res effects on so you can't get through. I'm not doing reborn, anything like that. Here's what it does. It steals a minion from your opponent. Then you've also tutored out a bunch of extra copies of various spells to make the defense higher. Then you topsy-turvy it and you OTK with your opponent's minion, which I think is awful but more fun. It's a different kind of bullshit because you have beaten your opponent with their own minion. And hey, part of that's their fault for playing a defensive minion. They're playing a taunt minion or something like that in your way. No. Now it's my friend. And it's like the biggest issue against it is if they don't have minions because your deck really doesn't have minions. I don't know. I like it because there's some good cards for like because there's the card that like makes your opponent or you make a card so it's like uh, for one turn, your opponent's attack is just one, all their minions, and then you play the card that then takes a one minion, steals it. And in Wild, you can do that many different ways. I'm not describing it great, but it is a fun little deck. So I'm playing that, and I'm having surprising amount of success with it, and it is a weird deck. So I'm enjoying that because it's just kind of nonsensical in a way that I enjoy. Um, I was also getting a little tired of some of the other stuff that I play. I also redid my. I had the Grand Archivist and Spiteful Summoner, my Grand Spite deck, which it had a major issue in it. It's only got 4 spells, but 2 of those spells were bad, even though they're high cost minions. They didn't play well, so I swapped those out. And then I also had enough dust to buy a legendary, and I bought the legendary weapon that for a charge you can choose a different card from the one you're about to pull out of the top of your deck. Uh, and I was like, oh, that would really help this deck because it would keep the spells out from being drawn because you don't want to draw the spells because you're playing cards that either use that spell right there for free at the end of a turn, or it's a card that just creates a random minion based on it. So it's like I was like, okay, I've now like figured out how to make this deck a little bit better, and I'm happy with that. And it's actually getting some wins, and it is a different style Druid deck than what everyone else is playing, which is nice. I do like that. Like I'm in Wild, there's Shaman Evolve. It certainly happens, but they don't happen as often as other decks. So it's kind of fun for me to play something that not everyone is playing. I enjoy that. Or playing the style not everyone is playing. I don't know. I enjoy that stuff a lot. It makes me happy to do. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been playing. Every once in a while, I go back to Fallout 4. I check the mods and see what's been happening in the mod scene since I last played. Download any mods that seem kind of interesting. Go back in. Uh, I've got a good save to try stuff out in that is like far enough along that the map is kind of open up and there are people about, but it's not so far in that like I don't know. I haven't made like all the decisions in the game yet. All right, we got the head left to make, so let's combine these here. But yeah, anybody playing any games right now? Checking out anything? Um, I have not played Genshin Impact because I don't know. I just didn't. It didn't draw me in. I think I'm glad people are having fun with it, but it just didn't seem like something that I would want to play. I guess I don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other. I'm not super into the free to play, uh, like that style of free to play. Oh, have a great night, Harold. Thanks for being here. Talk to you soon. Yeah, it's just not my. It's just really not my style of game. Like I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's really generous. You can do a lot," and then other people were like, "Oh, the late game. You really need to spend money to be able to do stuff." It's just like, "Yep, that sounds like a free-to-play game that has some polish to it." But I don't know. Hopefully, people are having fun with it. It just didn't really seem great to me. And then played some Genshin Impact, which is fun. Also worked my way through Murder by Numbers, which is the visual novel Picross game. Yes, Murder by Numbers. Yes, I've heard some stuff about that. Um, and then, there'll be a new Jackbox. That will be next Wednesday's bonus stream, because unfortunately, it comes out after Wednesday. It comes out like on Thursday or Friday, I believe. I already pre-ordered that, so I'm getting the next Jackbox, so we will play that next week. That'll be our bonus stream, and that'll be fun. Uh, Installed Genshin Impact the other day. It's definitely a podcast game, but I'm not sticking with it. Yeah, I can see that. I've been playing Genshin, haven't really gotten into it. 7 hours so far, and I'm not needed to spend any money. Yeah, I've heard that, Aristophan, that you can go, especially if you're not like going hog wild with it, if you're taking your time with it, you can go a long time before it feels like you need to spend any money. But it does hit a point where you can't really do anything like that, and you have to then like basically pay to play towards the end. It's what I've been hearing. Again, I can't confirm that from my own experiences. These are just things that I have been told that other people are dealing with. All right, we got a shiny piece of gold here. Gold plastic. Or sorry, gold sticker. Gonna put on here instead of it being plastic. It's a sticker. Gonna put that on. But yeah, I'm excited for a new Jackbox. I saw Polygon. Polygon did a video of them playing Quiplash 3, and I liked some of the changes to the display. And I really liked. There's a round where it is where you put in like the three. You're basically doing three jokes. You're doing like a three-beat joke, like a list. And I think that's a really interesting addition to Quiplash. So I would recommend checking out Polygon's YouTube if you want to see that game. I wish Genshin Impact had cross saves between PS4 and PC so I could enjoy the better performance on PC without starting over or playing both at the same time. I hear you, Lord Crashington. That is frustrating. Cross saves would certainly be beneficial to a bunch of people, I'm sure. And I got to put a bunch of this head together. Clear pieces. A bunch of clear pieces. Including the eyes. We got to get the eyes together too. H6 into, this is H1, 4. All right, so that is This is our eyes are going to go on this, so we got to put eyes on that. We got to put a sticker on that, and then 8. This is the this is my biggest always concern when it comes to working in the 144 scale is just the tiny pieces of the head are always just like, okay, all right, let's try to get all this together, and then E124, we'll get it all together. Um, but yeah, Jackbox I think is definitely the next game that I'm like, yeah, this will be. I'll be playing this. Speaking of which, if you are a $3, a $5, a $10 patron on my old Patreon, I put up a poll today to decide what I'm going to be playing on Wednesday. My options, because Wednesday's obviously my bonus stream. Play/do. My options are Hearthstone, focusing on my OTK Priest deck. Pokemon Emerald Randomizer, picking up where I left off in the Pokemon Emerald random run, which is not a Nuzlocke run. And finally, the third option, which is just a just chat and stream. I'll think of topics, and it'll just be a hanging out, kind of relaxed, just chatting thing. Like I said, I'll definitely think of things to say in it ahead of time. We'll come up with some topics, but then also maybe freeform and just kind of feel it out and figure it out. So those are the three ideas for Wednesday. And if you're a $3, $5, $10 patron, you can vote. And hopefully people will. Right now it is tied between Hearthstone and Pokemon Randomizer. So I just have high hopes that it won't stay a tie. I guess I could do both. Alright, so gonna put this on here. Alright. See them there. Oh, David, Coy, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it very much. Folks, thank you very much, everybody that's chosen to follow me. Turn your notifications on so you know when I stream. But as always, folks, it is easy enough to know that Monday, Thursday, and Saturday from 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern is when I stream. And then also I stream Wednesday, 9 p.m. till question mark, usually 10:30, and that is my bonus stream. But if you want the model kits, it's Monday, Thursday, Saturday. If you want the bonus, it is Wednesday. Inspired by LGR, so he's a game reviews, but he just kind of goes by LGR these days because he doesn't review as much and he doesn't feel that lazy. I just dragged the Power Mac G4 I saved from work years back out to mess around with it. So far, it turns on but doesn't see the hard drive. Well, good luck. If you don't know LGR, here's your next YouTube back catalog you can really go through. This dude, different categories of stuff you could be into and be into what's going on there, right? So you can find a bunch of different stuff to be into, and I think you'll enjoy what's going on with it. If you are interested in old games, old PC hardware, there's also a whole series that he does. Of course, he did in the before times of going and finding treasures at Goodwills and such. And sometimes he was wearing Google Glass while he did it, so you get to see what he's doing, and he talks over it at the end. Not necessarily buying everything, but buying a few choice items, and then also talking about the weird stuff he's found. That is a choice thing. He also recently purchased a wacky because he was late night Twitter, and late night Twitter has that habit of hey, look at this weird thing I found, and then late night Twitter was yeah, you need to buy that right now. It is a pyramid PC case, like a clear PC case that is shaped like a pyramid. He bought that and then tried to figure out how to run a PC in it, which I think was very fun, very entertaining. We're going to build this in 2 sections. That's kind of neat. All right, so we got this part here, and then this part's going to go into E125, so we'll do that. I am not familiar with Uncle Roger, Lord Crashington, but I hope you're enjoying it. Yeah, I went through LGR. I got recommended, I think, for the like some some series he was doing, the mini series he was doing, and then I got recommended that, and then I was like, oh, I like this guy, and I like what he does here. I'm enjoying the content he makes. Seems like a nice enough dude. And then yeah, you just go down rabbit holes. You start getting recommended things. You start watching them. It's incredibly hard to try and Google how to fix old versions of Mac OS, it turns out. Yeah, Lastbrook, I bet it is. I bet you end up on forums full of people, unfortunately, I bet you end up on forums full of people who don't want to help you. Uh, if worse comes to worse, you could always tweet at the internet's Will Smith and ask him if he wouldn't mind retweeting your tweet, because one of his followers might have an answer for you, which is the easier way. Although no, it's mostly just current Mac OS results. Yeah. Although probably the actual easiest thing to do would be to um, just find you gotta find some forums, maybe, forums people ask for help and never follow up to say forums where people ask for help and never follows up to say what worked them. Yes, Lord Crashington. Wouldn't that be nice if people were like, if a pinged reply underneath their original thing was them going, "Hey, this thing actually worked for me. I did this. Thank you so much." Like, and it was pinned so you could see the question and then also what the solution was. That would be radical for people that are searching. Ooh, I'm sweating. Sorry. Give me one quick second here, folks. No, actually, that looks good. When I was going to crack the door open, the door is already cracked. It is just warm. That is okay. But I'm wearing a bandana, and it'll be all right. Uh, yeah, I would like to see that when you're Googling a problem and you're like, does this only affect me? And then you just see a bunch of other people have had the same problem, and you see some of the same solutions, but you never know what worked for them. It's just a shame, y'all. Okay, we got the head done here. Face mostly done. Uh, then, okay. Oh, we gotta get. Huh. Oh, there's more of the headpiece. That's right. There's more headpiece. I was like, what is this part? It's an elaborate headpiece. We'll need this other part in a second. But yeah, good luck, Lashbrook. I hope it works out all right. But yeah, I don't know, if you ask tech people, hey, would you mind retweeting this? Maybe one of your followers knows. That's not a great solution, but it might work. I don't know. Haven't had to do anything like that in a while. I have enough followers that sometimes I can just post a thing if I'm like really confused about a topic or something. That I can just be like, hey, does anybody know what's up with this? And then sometimes people respond and they know what's up with that. Not every time though, but sometimes. Let's see. Do there. And the other day I got asked. Somebody was asking, it's like about why there aren't mecha shows, and it's a good question. It's come up in chat before as well. People ask, they're like, why aren't there big robot animes? And I honestly think that like I don't know. I just think the last few haven't done well. And I think that's the only reason, because I think it's expensive. Like, it's still an expensive art form, genre. And I think some of the risks that have been out there, some people taking risk with it, haven't necessarily paid off. in a viable way. So then that prevents other people from getting into it. Like listeners didn't light the world on fire, and that's the last like mecha show. Uh, Knights and Magic did okay. I don't think they're making more of it. I think it did all right. As far as isekais go, I think it did okay. Uh, but it didn't like light the world on fire either, and I don't know if we're getting any more of that. And that was had mechs and stuff. Of course, those were like you know magic related, but still, they were still mechs. So I don't know. I've been thinking about it though, and I'm not sure why it worked, why they haven't been all over the place, especially with CG stuff. Like I figured because of the the wide amount of CG related work out there that uh, you can do some CG mech stuff and people will be into it. But outside Gundam, I really don't see a lot of shows delving into it. There were some robots in. Oh, Spark Entity. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Spark Entity knows. What was it? What show had that? There was a mech in Infinite Dendogram. There was like a couple mechs in that, and it was like, but that's also not a great show. So that really didn't push mechs forward. Also, that mech was fine. It was fine. Uh, I'm actually hoping that Kuma 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 Bear has some mechs in it because it's a fantasy MMO, but I'm hoping there's some mechs in it. I don't necessarily think there's going to be a, but it would be fucking cool if there was. Uh, but yeah, right now I'm like, maybe not. Maybe there won't be. Okay, it's time for the backpack and the Werner unit. Gotta get these backpacks in. Those are the big booster things. Cool booster things. So we gotta get that going. But we are, outside of the backpack, we are body complete on this kit. And it looks great. I know the shiny blue doesn't really translate super well because of the way my lighting is, my overhead lighting. But please know, this is some shiny, shiny blue, and it just looks gorgeous. It is a really nice looking kit. I'm very pleased with how this came together. It's a really strong real grade. And it was not super expensive. I pre-ordered it, but it wasn't super pricey. It's like wasn't cheap, but it's still a pretty good price for a real grade. So I don't know. I now wonder if I could ever find the Tallgeese, the other real grade that came out, because there was more than one that went pre-ordered in April of the Tallgeese. So I wonder if I could get the other one. I don't know. We will take a pause for the cause in 10 minutes or so. I'll talk about ways you can support the channel. That's usually what the pause of the cause is for. And then we'll talk about some anime that came out since the last stream on Saturday. Not as much stuff. One brand new series, and then seconds episodes of some stuff, and the return of the Ninja Collection, which I found out later. So this show was off the air for 2 weeks. It just didn't have any episodes for 2 weeks. I found out later that it's because its normal time was during the French Open. So Japan was running the French Open, or was airing the French Open on this channel, and wasn't airing this show in a different time slot. It was just being like, it wasn't coming out. Which I feel like has happened once before. Oh, it was an episode of the second season of One Punch Man got delayed because of that. So I was like, oh. But the main thing is, like, that's never readily available. And that's a thing that I wish existed on subscription services. I wish that when an episode isn't going to air, when they're taking a week off. Now, to be fair, That reminds me of when Monday Night Raw used to be moved for the Westminster Dog Show. But at least, Bobby, and obviously live program, very different from anime, in that it's live. It's very similar to anime in a lot of other reasons. That's a different conversation. Also, hi, Bobby. It but they would tell you, and I feel like subscription services like Get don't tell you, and it sucks. You have to follow the official YouTube account of it or the Twitter account of it, and maybe they will tell you there. Or with COVID, they were putting up that shows were being delayed, and maybe would tell you when they were coming back, if they were going to take a week off or if they're going to take months off. They would sometimes tell you, but it was still never super easy to find out what was going on. And it's just frustrating. I just want to know when the things that I want to watch are happening. Um, like, tell me about the delays. Please, please, please tell me the delays. That always is frustrating. I'm always like, just pretty upset about that. Like, if I don't know, like, well, I took time to watch this, and I guess I'm just not going to get to watch it this week. Okay. I don't know. It's very frustrating. Because sometimes shows take a week off because they're dealing with stuff. I forget which show. Oh, it was it was that show about the guy that raises his defense all the way. I'm scared of getting hurt, so I'm going to raise my defense or whatever it was. It was the isekai where the guy was overly cautious hero. The hero is overly cautious. That's what it was, because Bufri is that one. So it was cautious hero. The hero is overly cautious. That was the one. Um, they had to take a week off, and they aired they had prepared what's happened over the last couple episodes, but it was like episode 1 through 6, and this was like in place of episode 8, so it wasn't even up to date. It was like a planned thing, but it didn't cover everything, and I was just like, oh, this is a bad call, y'all. Y'all goofed on this one. These are tiny stickers we're about to apply here. We're in tiny stickers domain. Look out. These stickers are tiny. Okay, so that goes there. And then that one is bigger. There. Like, this is a tiny sticker that's on here. Anyway, yeah, I just wish there was an easy way to know when shows, when you weren't going to get a show, an episode of a show. That's all it is. That's a pet peeve. I'm going to add that to my list of pet peeves, because my next Pet Bears Anime Club, which will be out in 2 weeks from today, is going to be a bunch of pet peeves that I have. Pet peeves part 2, because I already did a pet peeve episode. My previous pet peeves were, I wrote this down. I wrote it down because that's helpful to have that down. My last pet peeve video of anime pet peeves was teachers in romance anime. Get out of here, teachers. I don't need you in this. If we got a bunch of high school students having crushes on one another, I also don't need a teacher being interested in one of the students. Get out of here. Um, the idea in shonen, which is mostly an issue with One Piece, but also Naruto, is nobody staying dead. That is a really frustrating one. Let's see. I gotta put a sticker on here, so let me look at this first. Okay, there we go. Put these on next. The other pet peeve of mine is piano covers of anime songs, just as a YouTube pet peeve. We don't need it. I'm good. I'm good. We don't need any more. Um, Tsundere, just as a concept, just over it. Sometimes there are good ones, and in the video I did talk about like the good ones of that, and of course, believing that there are fake fans and gatekeeping, which is a big pet peeve of mine. Have you looked into much of the games in the new Jackbox pack? So I know that Quiplash 3, and I've seen gameplay of that. There is a art one that a few months ago I saw people do that looked very cool. It was so I only really know, I think, 2 of the games. The art one is like it's a lot of like get doing things that like based on prompts, and then like trying to win between the two, and then like you can maybe like change what the prompt is and mess with people that way. I don't know. It seemed kind of neat. I've seen that one, and I've seen obviously Quiplash 3, and I don't think I've seen the other ones. I haven't been like watching Jackbox streams. I kind of like to just find out what it is, and then watch a video of some people playing, and then like try it out. So I'll have an idea of for next Wednesday when we do it on stream. I'll have like an idea of what some of these are, some of the games are. But I might go in a little cold. A little bit of us all figuring it out as we go. Also, I've been told, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. More Jackbox is always good. Yeah, that Quiplash 3, if time runs out before you finish a prompt, whatever you started writing will be included. So if you like write, if you don't get a word, instead of it not counting anything and you just having no answer, instead you will have an incomplete answer, which I think is better because it means that you could like have like an incomplete idea that is accidentally funnier than whatever you were thinking of, and so I actually like that choice a lot. That sounds like it's a good gameplay decision. But we'll see. We'll see how these games shake out and how they turn out. But yeah, Jackbox is always a fun time. I am bummed to the very idea that I will not be playing Jackbox with my friends at my yearly Friendsgiving because, well, I'm not in New York, and I also don't think my friend Brett would have it. There's no way he would have Thanksgiving, a Thanksgiving thing. But the idea that I won't be playing Jackbox games on Thanksgiving really fucking bums me out, y'all. It really, really does. Just because there's usually a new one in time for it, and we play, and that will not happen. All right, so let's get more of this booster together. Yeah, I've been doing Jackbox with friends every now and then by streaming or Discord. It's been a lot of fun, but not the same as playing in person. Yeah, I mean, like, you do get the benefit of some of those games. Like, to me, Split the Room is really fun when you're all like, wait, what? And you can all like look at each other and you're like, what's going on? Uh, and some of the like that the fake in it, you can't play fake in it. You've got to like be able to look at people in the eye, and you can't really do that if you're not in the same room with them. It is just a different vibe. So yeah, some of them work I think just fine over the old internet. If you're playing through Discord or something, or if you're in Zoom or something like that, you could do it. Um, but yeah, it is not the same as being in the room. All right, so this is going to go into this. Sure. Oh, I was going the wrong way. And of course, after we finish this, we'll just do the same exact thing, but on the other side. And then this is this one. Up with a rocket. These are always a little annoying doing these, the Werner units, these rocket backpack thing, just getting everything, because you gotta have to have everything lined up here, like in the right exact spot, and then kind of just wiggle it all together, and then hope that it all goes through. Because the idea is that when you open one, the other opens, so you kind of have to like line it all up just right. And then there we go. Okay, so that goes in like that. Theoretically, when one opens, the other opens. That should be right. Okay. And then we have to basically put this on the lid. There we go. Now I got it right. Okay. I was saying like, oh, it's kind of complicated, and then it turned out it was kind of complicated. Um, but the nice thing is, you do it once, then the other side way easier because I'll have experience doing it. And again, very tiny stickers. That's the big takeaway from this one. Really shiny blue pieces, lots of need for tiny stickers. I mean, I could skip all of them, and it really because also some of these stickers are like on the underside of pieces. Like you're not really going to see them, but it's neat that they're there. But it's kind of like, all right, well, these are cool accents, but I don't know if these are necessary accents. All right, so okay. Now we're going to put this on the top here. Ooh, come on. Come on, snap together. Whoa. There we go. Now, it's down here. Sorry, everybody. I get quiet sometimes when I'm working on things that don't line up right. Again, this will be a lot easier for the second half. But part of that is just figuring it out. All right, make sure there's not any stubbins there. And then I have to just make sure this is all lined up right. Goes up, goes down. Okay. This all looks right. That doesn't necessarily mean it is, but it looks right. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Just because it looks right doesn't mean I'm doing it right. Yeah, this should definitely snap in place, and it is not. Gonna pop these out. When in doubt, just separate, see if we can figure out why things aren't right. Okay, so this is this side. Let's go back here to this. Okay, so put this in. This is going to go into these holes here. Alright. I'll take it up. This is going to go in this side. Way up high. Oh, did that wrong. Okay. The nice thing is that even though this isn't going quite right, it's not like I don't feel like I'm breaking it, which is the issue we had with the shoulder, where I was like, oh, I'm straight up fucking this up. I'm going to mess this thing up. So I'm not feeling that, which is good. It's just not coming together like it's supposed to. Okay, so this is telling me that. Okay. All right. That does feel like it's tighter than it was before. So maybe it will now work. Yes. All right, we did it. Do I know what I did wrong before? No. Am I going to run into similar issues with the other half? Probably. But I did get it together, so that is a victory. So I will take that victory. Sometimes you're just like, well, now I know when I get to the next, doing the next one, that like, well, I'll run into it. I'll deal with that problem when I come to it. A20 is this one here. Okay. Yeah, real grades always have like just something to throw you for a loop where you're like, sometimes it's the arms and leg interiors, and you're just like, I don't know what this is supposed to be doing, but it's not doing it. And sometimes it's like the exterior. There's like a gimmick a lot of times with real grades. They're beautiful, but they're really detailed and small. So sometimes you end up with stuff that is just like, I don't know what I did wrong here. I do know I did something wrong. I just don't know what it is, which is really frustrating. Okay. All right. So then, oh, we got a sticker to put on here. Get out the decar stickers. Look for number 18. It's this one. Okay. Luckily, I will say, even if these stickers are small, they put indents in the plastic of what should be going there. So one, you could just leave them as is and use your imagination. And two, it's not terribly hard to figure out where it has to go and line it up right, which is nice. Okay. And oh, that's right, gotta go through. Come on. There we go. Yeah, all right. Woof, this is intricate work, folks. Oh, of course, we got more stickers to put on as well. All right. I got a couple more pieces on here, but it also includes stickers. So it's pause for the cause time, folks. I'm going to keep working on this after the intermission, and then I will also be talking about in the second hour some anime that I watched that you can check out on your own after I talk about it, if that's something that interests you. But first, this is the pause for the cause. If you're new to the stream, hello. I'm going to talk a couple ways about how you can support the channel if you'd like to. I only do this once per episode of the stream. So this is the time where I kind of talk about what's going on and ask for your help. And again, you don't have to. None of this is mandatory. All of this is optional. You watching is honestly the most. It's the best. If you want to do other stuff besides watching, here's some ways you can help out. If you're a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the leg of the site, the emote in the chat. Let the people know, hey, these are the emotes, because that's cool. If you want to subscribe, you can use Cash Money. You can use your Prime Gaming. If you have Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch, you get Twitch Prime. You can use that token for me. That's a great way to support what I do here. You could also gift a sub. Right now, Sin is at the top spot for gifting subs. Gifted 10 subs this month. Top of the leaderboard. Very cool. Really appreciate that. Gifting a sub to somebody in the community, that's a great way to support what I do here. Also, bits and coins. Harold gave a few bits. Dr. Jones gave some bits. Always appreciate that. Very, very helpful. I appreciate the folks that decide to do that. That's rad. Those are some ways you can support the channel. If you're watching this later on YouTube, what's up, YouTube viewer? All the links I'm about to put in here are in the show description below. I mentioned earlier I have a Patreon. Right now, my $3, $5, $10 patrons are going to be able to vote on what I play on Wednesday or do on Wednesday in my bonus stream. There's also a $1 tier if, like, I get it. Times are tough. If you want to do $1 a month to support what I do, that's the easiest way to support me there, a recurring payment on that. Also, one times. Anything I make through my one-time donations, through Patreon, through Twitch, it all goes back into buying model kits so that I can keep building model kits. I've got a bit of a backlog, but I'm going to need more in the future. So that is a way for me to have some money in order to continue to do 6 hours of building a week. But all those will go into a fund, and I buy kits. That's another way to support what I do. Amazon Wishlist. The next kit I'm building, the Gun EZ from Victory Gundam. That's the next thing on the docket. Well, that was bought off my Amazon Wishlist. And I have a wishlist there, a bunch of different stuff on there. Some inexpensive Lego sets, some a little more expensive stuff from high grades. I have things that aren't Gundam. Like I said, I have Lego stuff in there. I've got a bunch of different kits in here, and you buy it on there, it jumps the queue. So if you want to buy something off there and then have me build it before I build anything else, that's how you do that. There's a bunch of different kits up for order, and yeah, it jumps the queue. That is a way to support what I do here through my Amazon. Also, USA Gundam Store. You can buy me a gift card from USA Gundam Store, and then you send me a DM. On Twitter. My DMs are open. And you're like, hey, I got this code in the mail or in the email. Here you go. And then I will buy something from USA Gundam Store using the gift card that you sent me. That's another way to support what I do if you don't want to go through Amazon. I have a Discord. You can join my Discord. That's free. I check that every day. People post stuff they're working on. Someone posted something I did not understand the other day. And I wasn't sure what they were talking about. Most of the time, people were just posting, hey, this is the kit I'm building. Hey, I'm working on this thing. Hey, I painted, my shelving unit for all my Gundams. It's like, okay. Hey, I redid the lighting in this thing. It's like, cool. It's very low-key, very chill. Very cool, though. Pat Bear's Anime Club. I got a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club. Every other Monday, I put out an episode of that. This one is Halloween shows that are not spooky. This is stuff that is not frightening. Do I recommend shows that are action shows in this? Yes, but they're not horror anime. One of them, and also like, hey, it's the season. Why not watch an anime about a vampire killing Nazis? It's pretty great. But like, yeah, like so, and then also there's some low key stuff like, hey, what about a guy who takes care of a little creature, he's a little demon, and then also there's a dragon and a thing that eats your nightmares, so you can have a good night's sleep. Like that, and a little mummy. That's a cute one. You can watch that one. That's pretty great. And then I have a weekly series every Wednesday called Baering the List, where I review things, I rank things using Tier Maker. This is the Hearthstone classes. I rank the classes in Hearthstone. Which I thought I had done before, but apparently had never done before. So I was happy to do that. And then I'm going to drink some water, and then we'll get back into the building portion of the stream. In just a moment, I'm going to drink a little water. I'm going to check my messages real quick. This is a good chance for you. Maybe stretch your arms and legs out a little bit. You've been tight. You get a little crunched up. If you're like this, if you're just watching a stream like that, you can ease back, drink a little beverage of some sort if you want to. You deserve it. All right. Okay. So yeah, let's get back into building and talk about 4 anime shows, because I saw some anime the past 2 days, which is just enough time to watch a bunch of anime that I wanted to see, and now I can talk about them, which is cool. Okay, so by the grace of the gods, episode 2. Roma is our main dude. He was isekai. He died. He became an 8-year-old boy. We now see him as an 11-year-old boy. So he's grown up a little bit in this fantasy world where he has the ability to use lots of different magics, and he has slime familiars. Taming monsters is a thing that happens in this world. He is very good at it. He tames all kinds of cool monsters, but or slimes anyway. These slimes are all CG, and it's fine. I'm not a big fan of mixing CG in with others with digital animation, but in this instance, I don't mind it because it's just like the slimes. And in this episode, there are also horses and carriages done, and I didn't necessarily love that part. But like if slimes are done in CG, I'm kind of okay with that. I'm pretty all right with it. Uh, so yeah, he specializes in slimes. So Reinhardt was the guy that he helped. He helped out one of Reinhardt's men in the last episode. Well, it turned out Reinhardt is a duke, and he shows up with his dad. So he's Reinhardt, and his dad is Reinbach, and then his wife Elise, and their daughter, which is Ilaria, who is also 11, like Roma. Okay, and here's the thing. It's an isekai, so we have to. This is the thing you have to do. If you don't want to do this show is not for you, and that's okay. I'm not telling you that's all right. I'm not telling you have to do this. But if you want to enjoy the show, I recommend you just have to get over the very idea, the fact, the very thing. You just have to be okay with getting over the idea that this was a guy in his 30s who is now an 11-year-old. And you have to be okay with that. And if you're not okay with that, it's all right. It's fine. This is not the anime for you. But you have to suspension, and you have to just be okay with the fact that this is a guy who spent 3 years in this magical world. He was a 30-something-year-old man. He is now an 11-year-old boy. Because when the moments of like this girl clearly being infatuated with him can't feel great if you remember how old he is. Ugh. It's just a thing. It is a thing of isekais that like fucking sucks, and why they should be aromantic characters, but they are not aromantic characters in many instances. Or even if there are a bunch of ladies interested, but when there's one lady interested, it's weird. So yeah. Let's see. The crew is going on a trip, and they invite Roma, and he accepts to go with them. And he says goodbye to the statue of the gods that gave him the second chance. So he says goodbye to them and gets ready to go out and travel. This will be the first time that he has ever ventured out of the forest that he started out in. Also, there's a whole thing about slimes. She wants to tame her first familiar, and so she gets tips on what kind of slimes. There's a whole thing about he's the first person they've ever heard of who's tamed a giant slime. Giant slimes are apparently very hard to tame, but that's because giant slimes are just 100 small slimes hanging out together, and it would be very difficult to tame 100 of something, which is why no one's been able to ever do it. But he did it because he was like, "Oh no, this is just a lot. You just have to tame a bunch of small slimes, and then they combine into a giant one." So they're all like, "Oh fuck yeah, this dude rules. This little kid is really great at magic." And that is proven even more effective. They run into a landslide, and Roma uses a combination magic and his slimes to help out everyone efficiently and safely. And it's great. Also, there is a butler character named Sebas, and I like him. He's a distinguished older gentleman, and yeah, he's cool. This show is cute and fun. It is an isekai that is definitely a slice of life. I do not expect there to be much trauma in this show. I expect it to be very light. I know that there are animal girls that will show up because all of them are singing the closing theme, but we have not met them yet, so I expect them because they're about to enter like a town, and then I imagine that there will be some stuff. I think there's going to be some guild activities He's going to get a job at some point, and it'll be a bunch of stuff. So yeah, I am currently very much enjoying By the Grace of the Gods. It is a chill isekai. It's also good because uh, we haven't seen the. I don't know. Kuma Bear hasn't really become an isekai yet because we haven't gotten there. Is there a show other than Overlord with a distinguished old butler named Sebas? Heavy Duty, I don't believe so. I'm pretty sure. Also, hey, what's up, dude? I'm pretty sure that Sebas is like that's the only other distinguished butler named Sebas that I know of. It might be more common, and I'm just not aware. But I was like, oh, that's his name? Cool. I don't know. It made me happy because that character rules. That dude's got honor. Honor among demons and monsters. Uh, anyway, yeah, it's fun. I'm gonna keep watching it. Yeah, because like Kuma Bear is great, but hasn't really become an isekai yet. And I'm Standing on a Million Lives is interesting, but but for different reasons. I do think that show has definitely got some stuff going on in it that I'm interesting to see what happens. I am pretty interested in the very concept of a show where uh, the main character is such an asshole, a selfish, perhaps nonsense person. I'm interested in that show. But anyway, let's get back to me talking about stuff that's coming out. Let me talk to you about a show that is classified as a comedy that I did not laugh during. And I don't think it's actually a comedy. I think it's just a slice of life. I think it's a very good, interesting slice of life. I tweeted about this. Maesetsu opening act that this feels like it is a slice of life about this is this season's slice of life about four girls who take something very seriously and are finding out how awesome that thing is. Be that like Laid Back Camp, Diary of Our Days at Breakwater, After School Dice Club. These things of like these are people, not the climbing one. Sports Climbing Girls, because that is a sports anime that happens to just feature ladies, because there are assholes in that show. And generally, if there are assholes in your show trying to stop you in a thing that is not a fun slice of life, it is a sports anime. So that is my classification. So let me actually tell you about opening act. So the first thing that I have to culturally explain to you is what Manzai is. Manzai. It's duo comedy. Laurel Hardy. Like it is this concept of this like two people on stage, the person presenting the joke, rapid fire. Usually they're verbal gags and misunderstandings. It is still a comedy trope in Japan. It is still a style of doing comedy, but it is certainly not a worldwide thing. In the U.S., generally, you have peas in a pod, like the Sklar brothers or the Lucas brothers. Those are generally people who are in agreement with one another and are just heightening and bouncing off one another. And it's rare that you have someone who is setting things up and then someone who is not understanding it, which leads to the original person not understand what they're not understanding and bouncing and going like that. Rarely in American duo comedy, which is also not that rare, do you have someone going, wait, and like slowing things down. That's just, we don't have that much anymore. So that is what we're talking about here. So please imagine a world where that is still a very popular, it is still incredibly popular duo acts, and also imagine a world where girls are not only interested in doing it, but also are the best at it. Like there is a group called JK Cool, their duo, and they are high school students, but they've already signed with a talent agency and they're already making it. They're in demand. So that is a thing that you have to, that is your suspension of disbelief. that that is what's happening. Uh, Also, the show starts with the four girls who are two duos that know each other. These are two duos that also, we found out later, work in the same like restaurant. So they're two duos. They know each other. They all get roped into performing to play at to do an air band at like this middle school or high school, not at a high school, and they play this like fake concert, and it goes very well. And then one of them is like, "All right, I'm glad you like this, and now here's an impression." And she does an impression of an anime character pretending to be another anime character at a getting onto a train, like a subway car, and even does the like door noise, and like she does an act out that apparently she's been doing since high school that no one has ever laughed at, but she really loves, and I feel that. And that's when I realized, when they had this deep conversation about like uh trying to hone it and like doing a thing where you're like, well, I love it, and maybe I can change it, or do I need to change it? Maybe I just haven't found the right audience, or it was like because we did it after we did this other thing, it was too much of a switch, and the audience didn't know what to do with it. Is it good? It probably isn't, but I still love it. So this is not a comedy anime. This is an anime about comedy. So this anime exists for me and Jake Young. And I think that's it. Jake Young is a stand-up that really loves anime. He used to work for Dork League. He's a great dude. I think that this anime only exists for the two of us. And I don't know if anyone else is going to enjoy it because it is not a comedy. Also, comedy is fucking hard. The next, one of the later shows I'm going to talk about in this thing, I laughed at a bunch because it is genuinely a funny show. I laughed at Sleeping Princess because it was very funny and there were some actually great gags in it. But that is not the same thing as this. It's just not. I don't know. I don't know if people are going to like it. I don't know if like you should watch it. It's very great, but also like completely like it's not something you can like. It's not approachable. I don't know. I don't know like what else to say about it. It's also, so it's two duos, and then also one of the girl's younger sister and her best friend are in it a bunch, and the best friend has a fang. So I'm like, oh, that's a good. This is not like throwaway background characters. These characters, attention was done to these character designs, so I feel like they're also going to be part of it. Also, one of the main girls, her voice actress is also Hana from Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out from last season, and so I was like, oh, I recognize that voice, which is fun. Yeah. So it's an anime about comedy that takes comedy seriously, which I think is a cool idea, but I don't know if it's gonna work. So I don't know if I can recommend it. I'm gonna keep watching it. I'm very excited about it. But I don't know. I don't know if you'll like it. So maybe check it out and see. Also, I think that the closing theme in the first episode is actually the opening theme, which was weird to do. That's a weird choice, but I think they just did the closing theme at the end because they opened with them singing a song. Although that might be the opening theme. I don't know. I was confused, but whatever. That's a minor point. Maesetsu opening act. Maybe? Ninja Collection was the show that was off for 2 weeks because of the French Open and is just back. And I had no idea. I did not know it was back on Sunday. I noticed today. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Jam, thank you for noticing. I am back. I'm so sorry, everybody. I finished off the top. I wasn't talking about it. I am back. I'm so sorry about that, y'all. Thank you for for mentioning it to me, Jam. I was so busy talking about anime, I didn't switch my camera back because sometimes I forget. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Anyway, I finished this part. This is all done. It looks good. But yeah, sorry about that, everybody. Um, all right. Well, we're working on the second one here. And as again, I will hopefully not make the same mistakes doing this that I made the first time around, but you never know. Um, okay, Ninja Collection. Again, that was off for 2 weeks. Now it's back. Um, this is a very short little series. The basic premise of the series, if you don't know, is uh, there is a group of ninjas in the modern day that chase down and defeat demons. And every episode is like 4 minutes long, and every episode is some sort of uh, like little tiny thing that are not really interconnected and don't follow up from each other. They're just like, here's a moment, here's a thing. Oh, it's really about this monster, and the monster gets defeated. Hooray! So that's what this show is. In this one, there's a guy with scars on his face, and he's at a park at night looking into a lake, and then he meets with one of the ninjas, and he's talking about how like he thought he would be strong enough. When did you know? A bunch of stuff. So we get a little bit of background into what's going on. Ooh, I just noticed I missed a piece, so let me put that on there. We get a little bit of background into like what's going on in the world, and then turns out this dude, for the second time in this series, because it happened earlier in the series, our main character, our focus of this episode, is a character who is a monster. Now, the first time the guy didn't know he was a monster, and then this time he did know he was a monster, and he did know he was a monster, and it goes here, there, sorry. And he just gets killed. He's like, hey, take care of the people, take care of my family, will you? And the guy's like, sure. And it's over. It was short. It was fine. It was, again, it was a fine enough episode. These things are very short and quick. Like I said, a couple minutes long. They're very atmospheric. I appreciate them. But if you never wanted to watch Ninja Collection or wait until it's over, because I think there are 13 episodes. So I think we're only on episode 11. I'll let you know when it's all over. And if you're interested in going and finishing it up, you certainly could. Because it's not bad. It's just like, I don't know. I'm kind of now just watching it to see if there's going to ever be like a two-parter episode or like something that happened in a previous episode. Like there was like a moment here that was similar. Like there were owl feathers, which indicate owls like can tell. Apparently owls can tell when you're like becoming a demon or you are a demon. So like that was kind of a callback to a previous episode that involved an owl. So I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. But yeah, so far, nothing goes from one episode to another. And you don't know anything about the characters and their motivations or anything. So it's interesting, but you could definitely avoid it. It'd be fine. 19. Is this one here? All right. Okay, now the other episode 2 of a show that I actually laughed at because it is funny. It is a silly show. Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle. This girl needs to sleep. Again, we got part A and part B. Basically, princess trapped in a castle as a prisoner from demons. And she just wants a good night's sleep. She just needs some sleep. This is Rem's voice actress. She's also Hestia in... So Rem from ReZero and Hestia from Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? So this voice actress doing double duty this season. And yeah, it's mostly just cute little gags. So the princess has a bug bite and she wants to make a mosquito net. My favorite minor character in the show, the skeleton who has an arrow going through his head, is in it. I'm really psyched about that. The demons think that she's after phoenix eggs, but she just was looking for a place to tie the net she made. And then the demons get confused and they fight with each other. Then later, the princess tries to take a sleeping potion, which is very fun. There's like a meeting of these demons, and they're talking about their new sleeping potion. And she like comes in and silently tries to take it, and they're like, "Hey," and she's like, and they're like, "No," and she's like, and then this one guy, the forest demon, just goes, or forest whatever, just goes, "We need that for this meeting. Could you not?" And then she doesn't take it. She's thwarted by politeness, which is fucking great. It's a good little gag. This show is full of really good little gags. Then she's being followed around as she escapes, and she dies, which is the second time we've seen her die. She died falling into lava before, and this time she fell into a bunch of mushrooms that poison you. Like giant mushrooms. And the Demon King just goes, "Is this girl an idiot?" Which I like, because she just dies from very easily avoided accidents, including there's a thunder dragon, and they're like, "Oh, is she trying to like get ally herself with the dragon to escape?" She's like, "No, I want to electroshock my muscles that are sore so I can sleep better," which is that's a bad idea. And so she dies again. So they're like, "Yeah, I think this girl might just be clueless," uh, which is pretty true. Um, and then, oh yeah, so then she gets thwarted trying to steal a sleeping potion by this dog man. He's like a great dog man, uh, and he loves the rules. And he seems like the only capable demon because he's mad about all the stuff that she's stolen or borrowed and shouldn't have. And then there is a moment where he reveals one of the teddy bear demons. And then there's a long pause. And then he's like, "Actually, this is okay. Yeah, it's all right for you to have to make friends with a pet." She's like, "Yeah, you can keep this." Which and she's like, "Really?" It's like, "Yeah, that's fine." Which was just a very cute moment. It was a bit. I did not expect that. I did not expect a long pause and then her to be like, "Yeah, all right, this is fine. Yeah, yeah, you can just keep that." So that was a good gag. I said I left more about that than I did about the other show, because that's a good gag. Um, let's see. She ends up falling asleep against him as he's lecturing her. So he's got lots of fur. Uh, and then he's like, what am I supposed to do? So then he's like, "Hey, Demon King, the Demon Lord, I feel like I'm probably going to have to, I want to shave my fur off because it's not effective against the princess." And then the king's just like, "No, no, you don't, no, no, I like it, no." Uh, it is a very cute show. I kind of I don't know if this is going to hold up for 12 episodes. I feel like I don't know if this show has the legs. Oh, also, while this is happening, the guy that's trying to rescue her is having a really fucking tough time. The hero is like, his party's only 3 people. He's running into a lot of rough stuff. So he's definitely not having a good time trying to get things done. So, or rescue her. Um, so like, and it's a shame because he doesn't even know that she doesn't know his name. She doesn't remember what his name is. So that's a bummer for him. Eventually, he'll be very bummed out to find that fact out. Uh, but yeah, I don't know if this show has legs, but I do like it quite a bit. So I'm gonna keep watching. It may be one of those things where like I just drop it after a while because I'm like, eh. Um, but right now, I'm into it. So approved. And that is those are the shows I've been watching. Um, uh, I'm not like there's a few things that I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna go back to this. Oh, I might end up like dropping these shows. There's a couple shows I'm on the fence on. Like I didn't watch the second episode of over the romantic comedy about the people that got married, like basically instead of ever dating, they just immediately got married. Uh, I've heard good things about it, but I just didn't end up finishing it because it comes out on Friday, and every motherfucking anime comes out on Friday, and so I just can only watch so many things on Friday and Saturday. I think the day I became a god, I'm also going to try to keep watching, because the first show episode did intrigue me. She's an annoying character, but I feel like she'll be less of an annoying character as it goes on, maybe. And there's just enough mystery in it to engage with and feel like, oh, this could be cool. So, and then there's some that are like Kuma 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 Bear. That's a no-brainer. Of course, I'm going to watch every episode of Kuma 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 Bear. I expect in this next episode we will get some sort of explanation of what the fuck is happening. Noblesse, I'm so far intrigued in. I think the art or the style is cool. Adachi and Shimaru. I hear this is a very slow burn. So if this is going to be my slow burn for the season, so be it. But I think like it is overall pretty damn sweet. Jujutsu Kaisen, I kind of bounced off of immediately, but I know there are people out there. There are some folks that are super hyped for it. It's their show this season, so I don't know. Maybe I'll have to check it out. Because so many people, I know a few people that are really into it, so I guess maybe I got to. I don't know. Also, there's an older anime from last year or 2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, called Island that I I was just like thinking about. I don't know why. It was a show I gave up on because I just didn't enjoy any of the characters, and it turns out that show's really fucked up. They're weird. So I was glad that I found out what happened in it. Basically, it was like a guy wakes up without any memory on an island, but he has like kind of an idea of what's going on, but not really. And he like definitely thinks that this girl is that he should be with this girl, but doesn't quite know why. And it's just building it up. It's part romantic comedy and part like psychological drama and also sci-fi, and then it just fucking goes places, and it just keeps fucking going places. Yes. Yashahime did start. I have not watched that because it's a Saturday show or a Friday show, and I just have so many of those that I haven't gotten to it yet. But I do want to watch it because I am interested in it. But yeah, I think that's a show that I'm gonna like watch like start like mid-season. I've kind of so basically I made the choice that I was going to watch a bunch of shows that were new, brand new things, right? And then once I cut out some of the new shows that I'm like, actually, I don't really want to watch this, then I can put in shows that I know I will least enjoy, um, like the second season of a regular Magic School. Like, I know I'm going to watch all of that. So I don't need to watch it right now because it's when a bunch of other stuff is on. Or Yashahime. I have an interest in watching that. And then there's a couple things that I'm just watching for me that I'll talk about at the end of the season. But like I can take a week off if I want to. I can talk about it. I can binge through a bunch of them, or marathon, I should say, through a bunch of them. And one of those shows is Haikyuu. Yeah, I was glad when I just randomly saw there were new episodes of Regular. Hadn't heard it was finally coming back. Yes, Heavy Duty. A Regular Magic School is back. Season 2 of that, it was postponed. It was supposed to be back in the summer, and now it's here. But it basically got postponed to that. But yeah, we got a new season of Regular Magic School. But I know I'm going to enjoy that. And also, there could be parts of that are real weird, because that show has some weird shit in it. But I kind of want to, like, watch a bunch of this new stuff and then cut them out. Like I said, I think I'm done with Tonikawa Over the Moon for You. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm done with that. If Sports Climbing Girls focuses too. I love the scientific magic guns. Yes. Um, if sport climbing girls, I should say, if that turns out that show is really focusing on these other characters and is really too much of a sports anime, I might end up dropping it. Uh, one of my things is like one of the things I love about Haikyuu is there there are weird guys, but there aren't like assholes. Uh, there are guys who are really into it, but they're just like mostly they're just like, oh, that's cool. Oh, you do this, that's cool. And like the roughest dude is a guy who's just like, I'm very good at this, and I take this very seriously. Like most of it is just that. So I really appreciate that as a concept in a sports anime. But then you come across something like this, where like there was already a girl like sabotaging other people in the second episode, and then there was so that sucked, and I didn't enjoy that. And then there was clearly like the big bad of the season, like the person show they got a beat at the end is like a real creep. She's just a creepy creep girl. So it's like, well, that's another knock against this show. I don't know. Like I'll keep watching for a little while, but how's the build going? Asked Lashbrook. I just spent the past 30 minutes fruitlessly tearing apart my closet to find an IDE cable. Well, I'm sorry it was fruitless. Lashbrook is going well. I ran into some issues on this, the rocket here, the Werner unit, but the second one I didn't run into those same issues because I figured it out. I think the biggest problem with tonight's stream was that after my intermission, pause for the cause, I didn't immediately switch back the camera, and that was a mistake on my part. Because I started building, y'all couldn't see it, which wasn't good. But other than that, this has been a pretty solid build. I got to put a few more stickers on here. We're gonna finish these things up. We still have the weapons that the weapons we won't start. The weapon and the shield we won't start until Saturday. Sorry, Thursday. I forgot what day today was. Today is Monday. So on Thursday, we'll finish this kit up and start the next one, which is the RE100 Gun at EZ from Victory Gundam. It is one of the only RE100 kits that I haven't built before. I've built almost all the other ones. I believe there's like one other one. It's like my second to last to build. And I know almost nothing about Victory Gundam, the show. I do know that this is a mobile suit that people like, and I like the look of it. It's small because Victory Gundam, everything was small. So that's kind of interesting. That apparently it's going to be a tiny, even though it's RE100. It is an RE100 so it's 1/100 scale, but placed against some other 1/44 scale mobile suits, it's actually smaller, which I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. So we'll get to that when we get to that, but we got a little time before we get. That's Thursday stream, as I said. Got to finish this stream up first. All right, so this goes here. But yeah, there's still shows that I haven't seen this season that debuted that I'm like, oh no, I didn't get to that. And there's a bunch of small little stuff, and like that's fine. That I've been watching the shorties. And the shorties are just fine because I like them. I mean, the fact that I'm watching an anime that's 90 seconds long, and it's like, it's so fun for this, because I'm just like, hey, here's the thing that happened, and it's just like me giving you 2 sentences. The last week episode, with a dog and a cat every day is fun, was just like, do dogs know when you're having a bad day? And then the other one was like, dogs are ready for bed, and they're excited, and take a while to get ready to go to sleep. Cats are not asleep when you go to bed, and they rule the house and make trouble. Like, that's the whole episode. Because it's 90 seconds, including the closing song. Oh, also, cats do know when you're unhappy, but they don't make any attempt to help you or make you feel better because they don't have the capacity to do that. This is supposed to snap on, and it's not, so I'm probably going to glue that or liquid cement that, but I will do that on my own time. Let me get the rest of this done because we're almost done. Folks, we will be raiding someone tonight. We always end every stream with a raid, so I hope you'll join me for that because it's nice to be able to go in a large group to another streamer to check them out. I always try to pick someone on the West Coast with the hope that they will continue to be streaming for a while. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just wrap up. I was really happy with Saturday night stream because he's just the best. But Adam from Loading Ready Run, Sebes Seabats, was just so psyched to have me raid, and that was so nice of him. And it was also cool to watch people like trying to get better at Street Fighter, and him having like a place for people to like try is such a neat thing. He runs lobbies for people to try stuff out. Okay, yeah, this is not going to stay on, so I have to glue this on my own. But yeah, that was a cool raid. I was happy to do that because he was streaming longer than he originally thought. Oh, I'll show you this. So these can kind of open up on the back there, and then that is a cool part of this kit. And then I just go back together. That is a cool thing. But yeah, I'm going to have to attach that piece there. But we can, for now, put them on. There. So this goes on this one. So we are now body complete on the kit. We just have to do the weapons, and we'll do the weapons on Thursday. And then we will also, on Thursday, start the the RE100 Mobile Suit EZ. Yeah. All right. Boosters are go. Heck yeah. I'm going to just attach that later. But that's going to be the stream. I am now going to go and find someone for us to raid. Hopefully somebody, as I said, that streams for a while. So feel free to come along on that journey. You don't always, have to do that, but if you'd like to. Let's see. I think we're going to go. Yeah. Right now, our friend Zandra, who made all of my emotes, is currently streaming, and she's doing a charity thing for, I believe she's doing a charity for Trans Life, Trans Lifeline. Also Trans Life, but Trans Lifeline specifically. So let's go raid Zandra, who rules and made all my emotes and is great. And playing haters right now and raising some money. So feel free to come along on this. Thanks everybody who decided to come check out the stream tonight. I will conclude this build on Thursday, but my next stream is this Wednesday, 2 nights from now, and I will be playing something that my Patreon decides. So either it'll be Hearthstone, a just chatting stream, or a Pokemon Emerald randomizer, not a Nuzlocke, a randomizer. But anyway, thanks so much for hanging out. We're going to go raid right now. Feel free to come along. Have a great night, and I'll see you on the next build with Baer. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.